steal numbers in the month of January have gone up like double basically what your season average is, and it's really start to like you've got like 3 steals, 4 steals, 2 steals, 3 steals. Like, can you attribute that to anything? I know you guys have kind of changed a little bit some of the schemes, but
some of it is just good fortune, being in the right spot at the right time. A lot of it is just being more aggressive with active hands, especially when guys are driving and get switched on bigs. A lot of times they put the ball in your face, and you just got to take advantage of different opportunities to swipe at the ball and be aggressive and go for steals.
Have you upped your aggressiveness at all in that regard? Or?
Yeah, I think it's just watching film and seeing where you can be more aggressive and just trying to stay engaged. And on ball, you got to take the challenge. A lot of times, it's late shot clock or it's pick and roll, or you get a switch with a 3-man on you or 4-man on you who thinks they can post up. So then you got to really take advantage of how they move the ball and where they put the ball.
CJ, there's a very detailed statistical study out there that declares you're the #1 jump shooter in the NBA. I know you've seen it. When you saw it, what did you think? Were you surprised to see that? Or?
No, I wasn't surprised. I think there's a lot of really good shooters in the NBA. I think from a statistical standpoint, it's hard to weigh who's the best, but I think I put a lot of time in. I'm a very good shooter. I'm efficient. I can get to different spots on the court, and I'm not surprised that the numbers say that I'm a good shooter because I know I put the time in.
How much of that great shooting is practice? How much of it is just natural talent that you might have been born with?
I was born with a good feel, but you have to get reps. My form has changed over the course of my career from when I was younger to now. Obviously, you get stronger and you kind of tighten up your mechanics. But a lot of it is just reps and mental. Being able to fight through shooting slumps, to just understanding that some nights the ball's not going to go in, and that doesn't mean you're a bad shooter. You just got to have more good nights than bad nights.
It seems obvious at times watching you that you have certain spots on the floor you like to get to,
that
you're very comfortable. Is it harder to get to those spots, or is it harder to make the shot once you get there?
It depends on who you're playing against. Obviously, some defenders are smarter than others, and they do their homework, so they know where you like to get to on the floor. But once I get to the spot, I'm comfortable with shooting it over anyone, just because I've gotten so many reps in certain areas that I just have to get there. Once I get in that region, that area, it's just a comfort zone.
What's your favorite spot on the floor to shoot from?
When you look at the shot chart, you'll find the areas.
I got a good guess.
You'll find the areas, but I got to keep my anonymity. That's a word.
Have you worked on your release too? It seems like your release might be a little higher, a little quicker than it was when you first got here.
I've just tried to speed everything up a little bit. You just got to be more efficient with movements. When you get to certain spots and they're off balance and they're leaning, you got to just raise up. So a lot of times I shoot it higher because I have to. I shoot it quicker because I have to, and my release is gradually just raised as I've gotten stronger. I can shoot it different ways.
Game tomorrow versus the Lakers. What do you guys need to do to get the win tomorrow?
We know they're coming off a historically bad loss, so they're going to be energized, ready to play. They're going to play extremely hard. Their bench unit is very good. I think they're tops the NBA in scoring off the bench, so we know we got to be ready to play and sustain a level of energy and a level of activeness, for the entire game.
Is it hard to get up for a team that you beat 10 straight times?
No, it's not. I don't know if I've been a part of all 10 of those wins, and at this point in the season, we understand how critical each game is and how important it is, and we need to get up for everybody. We're 8 games under 500. Like, we're not the Warriors, with a cushion to afford to drop games to certain teams. We don't have that luxury.
It's sort of more similar to the unit that you were the backup point guard of last year. Is there some comfort there knowing it's kind of like you're going to be the primary ball handler there?
I'm comfortable once I step on the court. It doesn't really matter the personnel or what I'm doing. I just feel a sense of comfort when I'm on the court, just because I know the guys are going to play hard. I know I'm going to play hard and give us a chance to win.
So far, it's nice to not have to travel or play and just relax. I'm watching a lot of TV. Man.
What are you watching?
Getting caught up on my shows. Blacklist, Empire, Ray Donovan. I can go on all day. That's what I do.
Let's do it.
Prison Break, Dexter.
Wow, you've been way behind.
Because I watch them in spots. So.
Your job's kind of demanding, for a few months of the year.
It is.
Dan, do you think the win in Boston is an opportunity to turn this whole thing around? Is it one of those games that can define the season?
I think it's definitely a game that can define the season. Just because everything that we've been through this season as a team, being 0-3 on that road trip, and then arguably the toughest game on the trip, being the last one, a back-to-back, and against probably the best team on that trip record-wise. We find a way to get it done in overtime. And, I think you get a game like that, and coming back home for a stretch in a lot of winnable games, that could be the kind of win that give you confidence and give you that reassurance of what we're capable of, and come home and try to get rolling.
How do you think the change in the starting lineup has helped, particularly the bench?
I think it makes the group coming in off the bench is, you got guys who have been starting. You got Mo out there, Chief out there, both guys who will make us more versatile defensive team. Both guys shoot the ball, they run the ball, they run the court well. Good athletes, good size, good length with AC. You put them out there in that group, and it's like you get a punch, not just on the offensive end, but it's a solid group to have out there. And then you put ET in the starting lineup, and allows him to handle the ball, and me and CJ play off the ball. And I think it was a good adjustment.
Your thought on the Lakers right now?
I think they compete really hard. I think they're better than what their record says. I've watched a lot of their games, and they're in a lot of games. And the NBA is tough, man. It's tough to win. And lately, they've kind of struggled in a similar way that we have. And you can't take any team for granted. Last time we played them, it was a tough game. We played them here, it was a tough game. So we got to come out ready.
Myers, how do you think the change in the starting lineup has juiced, particularly the second unit?
You know what? I would say there hasn't been enough of a sample size to really understand the impact. Yeah, exactly. The impact of the game and how it's changed. I don't know, the flow of the game on the offensive and defensive end. So I think that again, like we've known from the start of the year, we're talented from top to bottom. Certainly throughout different parts of the year, you try to figure out what groups work better together, and sometimes it takes a change, or noticing that one guy or two guys play different alongside another group. So it's a process. It's a continued understanding of what's going to work, and just day-to-day practice film and understanding of what we can get better at and what we've done well.
Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Myers.
Thank you.
Time for you guys?
3-day break's always at the right time. It's always a good time to have that. No, it was good. We hopefully a couple light days. Off day on Sunday. Yesterday was more of a maintenance day, and had a good run today. So you always like taking advantage of those.
I know the guys probably on the trip have asked you about this, but how do you think the changing in the starting lineup has impacted particularly the second unit?
I think it's too early to say, honestly, but that was one of the reasons why we changed the starting lineup, was because when Mo and Chief started, that was basically our best lineup, and that twosome of Mo and Chief was one of our better twosomes. So I think it's a little early to see, because of the foul trouble in both Philly and Boston, to see what the impact is as far as the rotation.
But your thinking was to kind of maybe give that second unit a little more pop?
The thing was just we needed to try something, and I didn't want to take out one of them, whether it's Mo or Chief. I just thought seeing what would happen, but the confidence that I have in Mo and Chief certainly is there, and bringing them off the bench hopefully would just change the dynamics of the bench.
Seems like Evan's got a little more time playing a primary ball handler with both guys, both Dame and CJ off the ball too.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, because honestly I'd have to go check the numbers how many minutes before we changed the starting lineups that Evan got to actually play with both Dame and CJ. So that was something I thought that we would eventually get to, and so for 2 games it's been good.
What did you mean you didn't want to take one of them out? It was either none or both? Is that what you meant? Or
Yeah, one is I didn't want to necessarily single out Mo or Chief. I think people would read into that too much, and And they do play well together. And when you bring them off the bench, then that maximizes their time together.
Chief seems to, particularly off the bench in the past 2 games, seems to really be giving you guys something. I mean,
Chief gives us something no matter what. I mean, he's if you look at our defensive numbers since he came back, I mean, we're in the top 10 defensively. He certainly had an impact on that. We finished the game with him. Even though Noah's starting, Chief's going to get the bulk of the minutes at the 4 because we're a better team when he's out there at the 4.
You talk about defense. CJ's steal numbers over the past month have been basically double his season average. Have you noticed that at all, or him being more aggressive defensively in terms of at least for those?
I think steals are a function of being alert and opportunistic rather than being aggressive. If you're locked in and focused defensively, if you're in the right position, if you anticipate, I think that's when steals come.
Jake's heading to the D League. What do you hope he gets out of that?
Playing time. I think it'll be a good experience. When Tim gets healthy, he'll join him. But Tim sprained his ankle at the end of his last game, so when he gets healthy, he'll join Jake down there. But Jake's going to get about 8 games and a lot of run, and it's both. Tim really enjoyed his 3 games, and I think it was a positive experience, and I think it'll be the same thing for Jake.
Could you anticipate you guys getting a D League team, or?
That's not even a question for me.
Sure, but would you see value in it, like being able to use this more regularly without saying Chicago?
I think that it can be valuable if it's done the right way. I think one of the things that is really beneficial for a lot of the teams when the logistics are easy, like Austin and San Antonio, or Chicago's in the same city, or Santa Cruz is close to Oklahoma City is in the same city. Right. So when the logistics of being able to go and play in a game, Dallas is in the same city, then it really becomes more beneficial for the team and the player.
It seems like the league is trending that way. It seems like we'll get 30 teams with at least close proximity.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know what the new CBA entails, but I think there have been some accommodations for the D League in the CBA that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, there's going to be 2-way contracts, so you can sign a guy to both.
Yeah, so I think it looks like it's going in that direction, and I just don't know the time frame.
Do you have any say on how players are used when you send them down there? Are you concerned about any of that?
I think one thing Neil does when we, especially since it's not our franchise, is that when we send them, we can send them to any team, but we want to make sure that whoever the player is gets an opportunity to play, and that he'll be used. So that's one of the things Neil and his staff did, was make sure that both Jake and Tim are going to a place where they will get playing time and they will be used.
What's your thought on the Lakers and kind of how they're playing right now?
Without Russell, that's going to change. I think the Dallas game was a little an outlier for them. They started Ingram at the point guard. That'll be interesting. But they're a tough team because they are young and they play hard. And we won the last game. I thought our defense in the second half, in particular, was very good. But they're a dangerous team because they are young, they play hard, and they can get hot.
Now that you've seen them a couple of times, what differences have you seen now that Coach Walton is in charge down there? I mean, style of play, or
differences compared to
from previous, last season, for instance. How are they?
Well, the biggest difference is Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
I think he had a little bit of an impact on the team, but I think they've they're establishing an identity. I think Luke has them playing. Obviously, his time in Golden State influenced his view of basketball as well as his playing days. So I think they're still finding their way. But last year it's difficult to compare this year to last year because of Kobe and how that team, they were kind of in between a Kobe team and a young team, and this year I think they've gone in the direction of building through their young guys.